Hi, and welcome back to Lisa's Stamp Studio. If you need quick gifts, I've got a great idea for you today using note cards and envelopes. We'll be using 3 different colors of ink and just 1 stamp set. If this is your first time visiting my YouTube channel, I would love to encourage you to subscribe. Click the subscribe button down below and make sure you click that small bell icon that's next to it so that you'll receive notifications when I upload a new video, as well as when I'm live right here on YouTube. Let's head over to the stamp table and let's get started on today's project. These note cards and envelopes are already pre-cut and pre-scored for you with the perfect size envelope, making this a really quick project. I'm going to create 2 of the different cards with you today, and then I'm going to show you how you can package them together for a quick gift. Because they're pre-scored, it's going to make it quick and simple. I do like to go over that score line with my bone folder for a nice crisp edge. I'm going to be using just 3 different colors of ink pads. The first one is Rococo Rose, and I'm going to be using all my images from 1 stamp set, and that's called Abstract Impressions. Really quick and really easy. This is a 2-step stamp set, which means images are meant to line up on top of each other to create added detail. I've got a small grid paper here to use as scratch paper because I'm going to be stamping off a layer of ink to create those graduated tones for the layers of the image. I've got the large rose image here, and you might notice that there is a black dot right inside of here on the image. I did that on purpose so that I can easily line up one image on top of the other. So let me give you an example. I made sure that the black dot was all the way to the left side. I'm going to ink up this solid image in the Rococo Rose, and then I'm going to stamp off to reduce the coverage. I'm going to stamp that flower here. I'm careful to make sure that the black dot is on the left side. I've now got the more detailed image, and again, you're going to see that I have the black dot here on the left to make alignment easier. I'm going to ink it up again, and this time I'm going to use it full strength. I'm not going to lighten it. And keeping that black dot to the side, I can easily go ahead and stamp over the top for that beautiful 3D look in the stamped image. For my leaves, I'm going to use mint macaron, and I'm going to be doing the exact same concept. So I've got the solid leaf from that stamp set here. I'm going to ink it up. I'm going to stamp off. I've placed 1 there, and I'll place 1 more down here. That stamp set also includes a detail for the leaf, and I'll go ahead and ink that up, and I'll place that right inside both of those images. Finally, I'm going to use basic gray for my greeting. I just want it to be a little bit more subtle than black. That's why I chose it. And from that same stamp set, this says, "Kindness changes everything." The great thing about this stamp set is there are multiple greetings, allowing you to make a perfect set of note cards. Nice and simple. Let's make 1 other to go with our gift set. Here's my second card, and again, I'll use that bone folder for that edge. I'm going to keep that scratch paper nearby because we're going to be doing the similar stamp off method for this card. I'm using the bold solid image here for the leaves, and I've got the mint macaron ink color here. And again, I'll stamp that off to reduce the tone. That'll go here in the lower right corner. I've got the outline image here. Now this one doesn't line up perfectly, and it's not meant to, so you get a little bit of depth here. And then finally, I'm going to go back to the Rococo Rose using these poppies. Now I chose not to 2-step this image because I really like them plain, and I'll go ahead and stamp those here over the top. I've got the basic gray ink here, and I've got a different greeting from that stamp set, and this time I'm going to stamp that here near the lower bottom. Here are the 2 that we just made, and ahead of the video I went ahead and I made several others, and I just used another rose with a different greeting, same with this one, and I changed up some additional greetings using the same flowers. So I have a total of 6 cards here. Now while I made the cards, I took the liberty of going ahead and making coordinating envelopes, so I stamped them in the same manner as I did the cards. I've stacked up all 6 cards here, and I've got my 6 envelopes, and I'm going to flip them over so the flaps are to the back of my cards. This is just for presentation purposes, so I've got a little bit of decoration whether you're looking at it from the front or for the back. Now let's talk about the wrap to present these. I cut a piece of mint macaron cardstock. That's the beauty of Stampin' Up! Products, is the color coordination. So the ink pad matches the cardstock and the markers and the accessories and so on. With my stack of cards here, I'm going to take the raw end and center it over the front. And then I'm going to tightly wrap this around the stack of cards and envelopes. This creates what we call a belly band. That's going to secure those in place. Now that my creases are in place, I can go ahead and open this up. I'm going to place adhesive here on this bottom flap. I'm going to use my silicone craft sheet. Adhesive, liquid glue, and hot glue will not stick to it, which makes it really great to use when you're using it on small, narrow areas. I'm going to go ahead and just center up those cards, bring up that flap, and just make sure that the ends of my belly band at the top and bottom here are symmetrical, and I'll press that in place. Now let's add a little bit of a decoration here in the center. I've got a scrap piece of Whisper White cardstock here, and here's our scrap paper. And we're going to do the exact same thing we've done before, but I want this image even lighter because I'm going to add a greeting over the top. So instead of stamping it off just once, making sure my dot is on the left, I'm going to stamp it off twice. So 1, 2, and I'll stamp that here. The outline image, making sure the dot is also on the left, I'll stamp this off once. Remember when we made the cards, we didn't stamp this one off. Finally, we're going to do the exact same thing with the leaves. So I'm going to ink that up and I'm going to stamp it off twice, and I'll stamp one here, and I'll do the same thing and I'll stamp that one off here. The leaf placement is entirely up to you. And then I'll ink this up and stamp off once, and that's going to go over the top, and I'll do the same thing with this leaf. I'm going to use the 2-inch circle punch, and I'm going to come right up here underneath this image, and I'm going to punch it out. I'm not at all concerned that the leaves are not going to completely fit inside the circle. I chose a small greeting from another stamp set that says "For You." And this comes from one of my very favorite stamp sets. It's called Itty Bitty Greetings, and you can see how abundant it is. The greetings can be used both for the inside and the outside of your cards. You're going to be able to find that stamp set in the Stampin' Up! Annual Catalog. Now, if you don't already have a demonstrator and you're interested in receiving a complimentary copy, head over to lisasstampstudio.com and click on Contact Me. I'm going to go back to the basic gray. I'm going to ink that up, and I'm going to stamp that here near the bottom of the rose. Back to that color coordination, this designer series paper comes in a 6x6 stack with multiple different images. It is double-sided. I decided to use that coordinating designer paper with the 2 1/4 inch circle punch, and I'm going to punch out a circle to do some layering. I'll use the silicone craft sheet once again. We'll flip that over, and we're going to add a generous amount of adhesive to the back side, making sure that my words are going in the right direction. I'll leave a small margin of that designer series paper showing along the outside, and I'll press that in place. Let's go ahead and adhere this now to the belly band. I'm going to use 2 dimensionals, and I'm very careful to make sure that I'm going to place them here at the top and the bottom on the back side. Otherwise, they'll rest on the note cards and not on the belly band themselves. And I'm going to be very careful here too to make sure that I cover up that seam. And then I'll go ahead and tack that in place. So there we go. We have 6 note cards with coordinating envelopes. Absolutely beautiful presentation, quick and easy. When you're using a stamp set such as Abstract Impressions that includes multiple floral images and greetings, it allows you to change up the greetings for the cards and create a beautiful note card set. If you have enjoyed today's video, would you please give it a thumbs up here on YouTube, which is a like. It certainly helps. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great day.